The UFC is picking up those frequent flyer miles this weekend as it has headed to the city of Baku with a light heavyweight main event between Jamahal Hill and Khalil Rountree Jr. It is on ABC at a special start time, 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific. So we're getting up early there for the UFC over there in the city of Baku. Hello, everybody. Brett Okamoto alongside our betting expert, Ian Parker. We are here to break down this card, as always, from a gambling perspective. We're going to get to all the top fights, all of Ian's top picks for this card on ABC. But before we do, we had an important UFC Fight Night event last week in Atlanta, Georgia. How did we do at Atlanta at the book, Mr. Parker?
Well, we were on a good track. We hit our parlay for the second week in a row. We hit our prop. We hit a couple of our really strong bets early on. But what it came down to was Joaquin Buckley winning in over 1.5. And Kamaru Usman said, guys, that's not happening. I'm turning back the clock. My knees are fine. I'm going to make this look easy. And Buckley made us look bad. I need a strong week this week. I'm not going to call it a bounce back. I need more than that because right now I don't like that number, but it takes a few cards in a row to get it back. It starts with this week. Let's go.
Yep, let's start the comeback right here on this ABC card. We got Jamahal Hill taking on Khalil Rountree Jr. Very interesting fight to me, Ian, from a betting perspective, because I feel like, if anything, the community would be a little bit down on Jamahal Hill. I mean, obviously, he has not had a win since the title fight back in 2023. He's had the injury. He's coming off 2 losses. Meanwhile, Khalil Rountree Jr. picked up a lot of positive goodwill from his fight against Alex Pereira. So I feel like you got 2 of those narratives coming in here, and then you got a really interesting line at basically a pick'em. It's -110, -110 as of the last look here on this light heavyweight main event. How are you looking to break down this, and then all the storylines, how they might be impacting the betting odds on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more here. I'm very surprised at this line because, for me, I don't know what people are still seeing in Jamahal Hill that they are confident in him, even if it was up to +120. I don't have any confidence in Jamahal Hill. The way he acts outside of the cage, as if he's still the champ or if he's on a winning streak, and he's been finished in his last 2 fights, to your point. Khalil Rountree, I thought, looked very good against Alex Pereira until he started gassing out. And I'll even throw this take out there. If it wasn't an elevation, and if Rountree doesn't slow down, maybe he wins a decision in that one. He showed very good durability. He showed good striking. Jamahal Hill doesn't present a wrestling threat, doesn't present a grappling threat. And even if he does, I think Rountree's takedown defense is enough to hold him off. This goes back to when people were taking O'Malley against Mussayv, except you're getting much better odds. I'm going to go with the same thing here. I don't know why we think that Jamahal Hill is going to provide a different result. I love Khalil Rountree in this spot. I think coming off that loss to Alex, he should be confident in what he's doing. If this fight stays on the feet, Rountree is the better striker. I think he just needs to pick up his volume a little bit. I think the cardio may be in favor of Jamahal Hill. We've seen him go 5 rounds before, but the 2-fight losing skid by knockout with Rountree's power and his aggression, I like Khalil Rountree here, man. I don't know why these odds are so close. It's very confusing.
Yeah, and so you're going with Khalil Rountree, and I do your level of confidence in this one, because the reason I brought it up is that I do feel like you are getting Jamahal. Everyone's kind of down on Jamahal, and everyone's kind of high on Khalil, but we're still taking Khalil. Do you feel like so you felt like this number was actually appropriate, though, that even given those situations where everyone seems high on one, low on the other, we're taking the one that everyone seems high on, but you're higher even on him even than the -115?
I thought when this fight was announced, we were going to see Rountree be a -175, just based on, This is one of those times where I think Rountree's stock goes up even in a loss. And we've seen that a lot, right? And this is probably one of those sports where in a loss, your stock can go up. It shows that you do belong here. And with Rountree, that it was kind of an odd opportunity, him to fight Alex Pereira. What was he ranked? Number 7? You don't see it that often. And it's not like you're getting Jamahal Hill on the way up. In my opinion, you're getting him on the way down. It's like the Tower of Terror ride at Disney. He's dropping quick. So I think at any time to take a Rountree fighting top-level competition at -115, I think that's where the value lies.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I don't love the idea of taking a guy when everyone's high on him against a guy that everybody's low on. But if you thought that this line was going to maybe be minus 175, we're getting a ton of value. So then I'm very good with taking Khalil Rountree at minus 115. So we're taking Rountree in the main event. Let's move to the co-main event at lightweight. Rafael Faziv, taking on Ignacio Bahamundes. I know you're a Bahamundes guy. I know you've been loving this guy throughout his entire career. He does come in as a favorite against a very talented Rafael Faziv. Who are you taking in this critical 155-pound matchup?
Brad, this is going to be my premium play of the night. I'm rolling with Ignacio Bahamundes here. You know, with Faziv, look, 3 losses in a row. That fight against Gaethje, I did not like the way he looked in rounds 2 and 3. He's fighting someone who's going to have a massive size advantage. In my opinion, just a well-rounded fighter. We saw a submission win from him last time. Faziv's not putting him on the ground. The reach is going to be there. The lateral movement's going to be there. I think Bahamundes is at his best point right now, and he's fighting Faziv at Faziv's worst. I can't imagine Faziv's going to have all of a sudden this miraculous performance. I don't think he's going to be even getting close to tag Bahamundes. I think this fight will probably see all 3 rounds. I think at this number, I don't need to touch any rounds, though. Give me Ignacio Bahamundes as my 5-unit play. I think this kid is going to be one of the best fighters in the division for a long time. We keep talking about changing of the guard. I think it continues with Ignacio Bahamundes here.
That was a fun stare down between those two. Make sure you're getting up early and watching that fight on Saturday. The special start time, 3 p.m. Eastern for this main card of the UFC Fight Night. Let's move to your other best bets here for this card. The next one takes place at the middleweight division. It's Junyoung Park and Ismail Nordivv. Junyoung Park coming in at minus 195. He's a guy who has a long track record here in the UFC. I feel like we've talked about him a lot on this show, and you were taking him plus the over 100 at 1.5.
Yeah, I love me some Iron Turtle, especially against a guy who's a kickboxer who tends to fade as the fight goes on. And Park gets better as the fight goes on. He's going to lean into his grappling. He's going to lean into his wrestling. He bounced back nicely off the Muniz loss. As long as he doesn't get tagged early, I think he's going to implement his game, wrestle, grapple, position over submission, get the damage done, and just do what he does best. I'm going to even go as far as take this at a 3-unit play. I love Park in this spot, and we're going from minus 195 to minus 105 by adding that over 1.5. Let's do it.
All right, so one of our bigger plays there on Park and the over 1.5 rounds. Let's move to the bantamweight division, the females, as Daria Zelenskyakova from Russia fights out of Paris at the MMA Factory. She's taking on Melissa Mullins from the UK, who comes in as a pretty significant favorite, minus 260. But you're not touching that. You're going to look at the total here on this one.
Yeah, this fight is a rematch in which Mullins finished Daria. And look, when the fight was on the feet, Daria had the advantage, was tagging Mullins, but the minute Mullins gets the fight to the ground, it's a whole different ballgame. We've seen Daria really struggle when she's put on her back. So for me, I don't care who wins this one as long as it gets done under 2.5, which I think it will. And for those of you that like Mullins here, I don't disagree with you. I think she gets this fight to the floor very quickly, does what she did last time and puts Daria away. But we're getting a little bit more time at only minus 125, so I really like this spot.
All right, so maybe a repeat there, and we'll take the minus 125 value on the under 2.5 rounds. Your final best bet on this card, it was supposed to be a 155-pound fight. It was announced that it's now going to take place at 165-pound catchweight. That is Tavik Musayv taking on Muktabek Orobai, and Orobai minus 150 favorite here, and you like the favorite in this 165-pound matchup.
I mean, look, we know that this guy's got durability like no other. In that last fight, his face was split open. One of his eyes was no longer in his head, and he still almost came back and won that fight. He's fighting someone in Musayv who's a very good striker, good precision here. But as the fight goes on, that power goes away. Orobai just has to weather that early storm, implement that wrestling, that pressure, and I think he does it here, bounce back and gets a win. I think the number should also be higher with Musayv also making his UFC debut. We've seen a lot of guys coming from outside the UFC and not having a ton of success. I think that trend continues here. I think Orobai is a lot better than that last fight shows. And I think people also undervalued Rebecca. We're going with Orobai on the money line here at minus 150.
All right, so we'll take Orobai there in the 165-pound catchweight fight. That rounds out our best bets. You got a prop of the night for us on this ABC card. What is it?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tagir Ulanbekov to win by decision. I think it's a tougher fight than the odds show. He's a minus 500. I think that's a lot wider than it should be. However, he is the better wrestler. He's fought the higher level competition. On the feet, he may carry less power, but technique-wise, the striking does match his opponent. to win by decision at -120. That's where I'm going with the prop of the night.
All right, there's your prop of the night, and we're looking for a big weekend. You know what would give us a big weekend? A nice long shot parlay. So where are we going for a successful big hit on Saturday morning, Ian?
Well, Curtis Blades is fighting probably, I hate to say lowest level competition he's fought in a long time, but with Kuniev making his UFC debut, I think Blades has to get this done. KO or TKO at +135. The Iron Turtle by decision. And last but not least, Muhammad Usman. He is an underdog here, and if he wins this fight, it's by decision at +300. Let's go.
Yeah, I like it. Little three-teamer methods of victory. We're getting about 22-1 odds there on the long shot parlay. How about Parker's parlay for Saturday?
This one not nearly as exciting, but let's make it 3 weeks in a row here. Blades, Sadikov, and Oban Elliott all to get it done at +105. You're getting those high money lines, trying to bet them a certain way. The method of victory for all of them is a little tough, but if you put them together and get plus odds, I'm going 3 weeks in a row with my parlay.
It's a nice little card over there in Baku, and I love the early start time. It's so nice to wake up, watch a little bit of UFC, still have your Saturday evening. Hopefully we gave you a little bit of good advice. You can have some victories in your pocket before we hit the afternoon. It's a 3 p.m. start time, 12 Pacific, ABC. Enjoy UFC Fight Night. Thanks for watching UFC Best Bets. Check us out next week. We'll be right back breaking down all of the fights from a gambling perspective. Until then, take care.